Hello once again. I wanted to go through, my classes are getting ready to graph the other trig functions. So we just finished doing all the sine and cosines, but we're starting to look into how to graph cosecants, secants, tangents, and cotangents. And I thought I'd just do a real short video before we graph them on why the functions look the way they do. So what you see on the screen right here is a graph of cosecant. And it looks kind of strange. Looks like these little kind of parabola type things. Not really parabolas, but we'll talk about that in 1 second. So why does it look like that? We know cosecant is the reciprocal of sine, so 1 over sine. So if I bring up my sine function here, and there it is, kind of overlaid in there, we see kind of what happens. Notice on the maximum and the minimum values, the cosecants have the same value. Because if you think of a unit circle, at pi over 2, the sine is 1, so the reciprocal of 1 is also 1. Same deal for -1 at 3 pi over 2. So that's why this cosecant values at the minimums and maximums are the same thing. Now, what happens at the zeros of the sine function? Well, what happens? What's the reciprocal of 0? 1 over 0. What happens when you divide by 0? Everything blows up. It's an asymptote. So that's why if you look through here, all of the places where the sine is 0, we have an asymptote. So if I take those back away, that kind of explains why the cosecant function looks the way it is. So when we start graphing this, and I'll do a video on that a little bit later on, when you go to graph a cosecant function, we're just going to graph a sine function and then look and see where the equator is, where the minimum maximum values are, and then just kind of do the reverses of that, kind of going up and down by the asymptotes. Same exact deal if you look at the graph of secant. So again, I'll go through this a little faster. There's your graph of cosine, and you see again, the minimum maximum values are the same thing on the secant function, and then here at the zeros of cosine, so again, pi over 2, 3 pi over 2, and so forth, are where your asymptotes are. So that's just a real quick explanation of where those come from, as far as the graphs of secant and cosecant. And I'll be doing another video shortly on the same kind of deal where the graphs of tangent and cotangent come from. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.